Drudge. Oh, welcome back. Welcome back. Here's a joy. I've missed you two. God, if ever I needed a drink on a night, it would be this one. God, cheers, America. Cheers to you. Oh, to health, to happiness, to courage, to joy, to safety, security, to football. Oh, that is amazing. That is genuinely unbelievable. But you didn't come to just hang out with me. Someone, World Cup winner, World Cup winners, multiple. Well, just World Cup up the way. Oh, Crashlyn! Oh my lord! If ever America needed your joy, here's tonight. Cheers!
Cheers! You got your face on yours tonight.
Yeah.
Oh my lord! You know what? Daddy wants. That's amazing. Holy crap! You know what? One of these days, I believe you have to win a World Cup to get a face on a Budweiser bottle. But that is bloody beautiful. Welcome back, America, to the Wednesday Budweiser Happy Hour on Instagram Live with me, dull old Rog, and WSL is back. Oh, thank you, Lord. Drinking buds never really went away. And I'm thrilled to have a third bud of the day with not just one, but two remarkable guests, a warrior and a goalkeeper / reality TV film director who earns all the bloody Emmys, the first human beings in the history of the United States to win a World Cup whilst engaged, Mazel Tov, now married. Please welcome 9% of the 2019 World Cup winning US women's squad. From Orlando Pride, 133 caps between them, two buds with their faces on them, American football's royal couple. Oh, Ali Krieger and Ashlyn Harris, courage.
Cheers.
Cheers, you guys.
Oh, yeah, I switched to wine, so.
This is called a red bud.
We didn't want to open these, we got to save them.
That bottle also probably has your face on it. Crashlyn, how are you both holding up? How are you doing? Tell us.
Yeah, we're doing
we're okay.
Yeah, we're doing all right. Weird times, right? It's weird times.
I'd bite your arm off to feel okay right now. just as importantly, how are Storm and Logan holding up?
Oh, they're great.
They're enjoying it too much.
Storm's snoozing. Logan's ready to go out and meet all the lizards. So
she just turned her head around.
Is that a local gang or is that real lizards?
No, they're real in Florida.
Yeah, they're real.
America. Oh, your team, the mighty Orlando Pride, kick off the fall series against the North Carolina Courage, September 19th. How ready after this extended, not asked for, not desired, not required, not requested break are you to get back on the field at long last?
Yeah, I mean, it has been quite the year, and I think this is our third preseason, so that has been enjoyable.
Yeah. It's been a lot. It's been hard, but we're excited.
Yeah, we're excited to get things, back into the swing of things. Things are different. Teams look different.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure we're going to talk about. I think we loaned out 11 players to Europe. So showing up to training is
a little different.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
But we're managing.
Everyone married, come training. Other people, all of you go to Europe. Question from a fan at Vlatko knows. What are your expectations? What are your goals for the fall series after such a long break from the playing field? What do you hope to achieve mentally? What do you hope to achieve tactically?
I think first and foremost, our health and safety is important because, what happened with our team specifically, it can happen to anyone. And it's just such a dangerous time right now. So trying to stay as safe as possible, first and foremost, and stay healthy training wise. And then obviously, with such a new team and new players joining us, just kind of finding a good rhythm in the games, working on things that you need to work on, focusing on yourself really to make the team successful. So I don't know necessarily it's going to be, something new for all of us, but if we focus on, ourselves individually and what we can bring and do the little things right in our own positions, I think we can be successful. So,
and I think the thing that people don't realize is our job is so much about preparation, and to not be able to have that is a little bit like, mentality is such a big thing, knowing that you have done and ticked off all the boxes going into games. Like, to not have that is strange, because we can't play against anyone. We can't have prep games.
Yeah.
We can't do against boys teams 11-11, like
we're
11
in like
11.
8v8,
Like, we don't
7v7.
have any preparation. So we're kind of showing up to this just as blind as the fans are. So we don't know what to expect. I think at this point we can really just only control putting ourselves in an environment where we're staying fit and staying switched on and getting our bodies prepped, for what's to come. And that's hopefully the Olympics and season next year, when things start to matter. Yeah.
Is the Olympics front of mind?
I mean, of course,
absolutely.
right? Like, that's important, and it has to be. I think with the uncertainty of this country, I just don't know the direction we're going to go in with COVID and what that looks like for this league moving forward, unfortunately. I think, European clubs are figuring it out and are safely figuring it out. But right now, especially like in Florida, it has hit us so hard. So, we're having to be really safe and really cautious, and protocols for us in Florida are very different from other teams in the NWSL. We can't see people. We can't go to restaurants. We can't go out to dinner. So we are very isolated at home, which people don't realize creates its own mental stresses. So the only times we get to leave is to go for a walk or go to training. So it has been very, very difficult. And I don't think people really get that. And because of this bubble, we can't see family. We can't see partners. We are in Florida. We are on lockdown.
Besides us.
Marry your teammate.
You guys are ahead of the curve.
We got
it. You were ahead of the curve. But I'm speaking to you from New York, and we've been through that similar experience that you guys are grappling with in Florida. There's people from across America, from across the world, and your words are sobering. We often forget our favorite athletes who we adore, we revere. They are human too. And the most important thing to do is what you're doing, which is talking about it, articulating it, sharing it. That stuff can really, when you keep that in, it can really eat you up. That's the danger, right?
Absolutely. It's been really tough, but we've learned a lot about ourselves, I think, through these, last 6-7 months. And we've learned a lot of patience and what's important in life, and friends and family, and really taking care of your mental health, and also just being able to go out and play the game that you love, which is our outlet. And that has been so refreshing. And when everyone kind of does the right things and they're able to create this safe environment during this worldwide pandemic, it's really enjoyable to get out there again and, play with your favorite people and just enjoy the game.
You talk about your favorite people, and great news for Pride fans, great news for everyone that loves the game of football in America. Alex Morgan has just returned to training. That must have been deeply emotional to experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we know, honestly, this break has come at such a good time for her. I don't know. I think she was timing. She knew what was going. Yeah, she was absolutely ahead of all of this. She's
a planner.
This is the year. This is the year I'm going to sit out and nothing's going to happen to me. So
she looks so good.
She looks
bounced back like nothing.
Her body, she's fit, she's strong, she's healthy, she's in a good mindset.
But that's all of our moms, I think, that have been on our team and involved with the Pride and the national team. They just are super women.
Alex was insane. Swinging around kettlebells like the last
9 months,
like the last week of pregnancy. I'm like, sis, chill out.
Yeah. But Sid and her are both back, and they're just, they look great, and it's just exciting to have them back out there.
And I believe that baby Charlie's already whipping in 35-yard free kicks, top bins.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Baby horse in the making.
Maybe she can play with us this fall series.
We need numbers.
The future is now. By the way, I do think Alex Morgan is going to be the first person to win the World Cup while playing with her own daughter on the same American team. And I think that women's soccer is an incredible moment, not just in America, but globally. Ashlyn, I love this recent quote of yours. You said we're playing for more than the popularity of the sport. We're playing to impact people's lives across all industries. We're trying to empower people to feel strong enough to stand for something that's important to them. How frustrating has it been, not just not to be able to play on the field, but to advance your wider agenda off it because you're not playing?
Yeah, I think, here's the thing. Creating a brand for me has always been strategic. The soccer part always played a small piece in touching people's lives and reaching out. It's hard to interact with people when you're doing your job. Your interaction comes when, you're inviting people into your world. You're opening up. You're being honest and authentic and real, and most importantly, vulnerable. I share my scars with people, and I think there's beauty in that, because no matter what we go through in life, there are people out there who understand and share the same scars as we do. So if we can find our community and open up and allow people in, that's when we have these massive breakthroughs. So for me, it's continuing to spread my message, whether I can interact with people face to face. It's really just having a pulse on, hey, I know things are tough and I know it's hard, but I'm here for you, and we can talk through things and we can share experiences and we can get through this together, because we're going to be stronger in numbers than trying to take this thing on by ourselves.
That is what we all needed to hear tonight, to be honest.
Cheers.
Tonight of all nights, we all needed to hear those words of wisdom. It's the best of times, it's the worst of times. There's been so much progress football-wise. It has been made. A friend of mine had a daughter recently, and I realised that, please God, this baby would only know a world in which women's football is routinely broadcast on network television in America. All of it, every game, no matter where, national or club game. Do you feel that? Do you feel like we're living in a golden era of women's soccer?
I mean,
that's a tough one.
Yeah. I feel like it's so refreshing to finally see people paying attention to women's football and to grow the game, not only in the US, and on the national team level, but at the club level. And we want to get to a point where it's, pay to play and club over country, just like on the men's side. Because club is like, it's where you develop. It's where you can train at a high level consistently, week in and week out, have games week in and week out, no matter if you're on the national team or not. If you go into a national team atmosphere, you might not play all the time, but in a club atmosphere, you're playing every single weekend, and you're getting that training and those reps, which are so important. So I'm hoping to get to that point, but it's so refreshing to see NBC and online and CBS and these networks really pay attention to women's football, and to show these younger players and these younger talents and the youth that you can make your dreams come true. If you put in the work, you can play for one of these teams and win a Champions League and win a treble or a Bundesliga title, anything. I feel like anything's possible if women's football is visible. And that's what this has come to, and I think it's really refreshing to see. And we're getting up even last weekend. We were getting up watching the games, and it's just as exciting to see those teams play.
I also think what people don't realize with everyone being home is what you can see, you can achieve. What you can't see, you can't achieve. So these young girls sitting at home, being able to turn on the TV and see women at the highest level do incredible things, inspire them, and visually show them, like, I want to be that. I can do that. But they have to see it, to believe it, to achieve it, to make it a part of who they are. I mean, I grew up and I look at all my school papers, and I always wanted to be the next Michael Jordan and the next Shaquille. I can't, because I didn't see what I wanted to be. So it was always this jaded, situation where I was trying to be a man, but I was a woman. And we live in a time, and we fought hard enough where we now have all these leagues on TV for these children to be able to sit down and watch and be like, that's what I'm going to be when I grow up.
So to summate, we've climbed the mountain, but there's many, many more peaks ahead. And then the most important point to everyone watching, which I don't need to make because it's self-evident in the light of day, be like that. Be like these two, not like this person. Be like these two, not like these person. And then everything is possible. But I have to ask you, in that vein, one of your Orlando Pride teammates, Marta, the Brazilian goat, the Brazilian Football Confederation last week announced there will be equal pay for men's and women's teams. Have you talked to her about it? I mean, it must feel magnificent for her.
Yeah.
She was so excited the next day at training, and I can remember her saying, I'm going to stay on for 10 more years. I'm going to play till I'm 50.
Every
and
birthday,
cheers.
I asked Marta
for
her birth certificate. She is 35 going on 46. We know it. And she will continue playing till she's 57, and we'll all still think she's 32.
But honestly, if I could play with her forever, I would too. So Marta, she makes the game, I mean, so dreamy to play, and it's been incredible to be her teammate these past 3 or 4 years, and it's so great to see that success in Brazil. That's what we want, and hopefully other countries will follow.
She has fought so hard for that moment too.
She deserves it.
And she has carried that federation on her back since she was 12. So to see the success and the enjoyment, like, I'm very happy for her and for those women and for the federation, because I know it hasn't been an easy road. So that was a huge gain for the women's game.
Yeah. That's what I thought about when the news broke. I look back on her comments after a game in the last World Cup when she looked at that camera and she begged the next generation. She begged them with passion and wisdom and intelligence and heart, everything, every human emotion that is great. And she put out, when that news broke, I just thought of what feelings she must be experiencing, and I raise a glass to her, and I raise a glass to every federation that makes a similar decision. And I love the way you said that Marta will still be playing late into her 50s. She will be the player that Charlie, Alex Morgan's daughter, will be playing in the World Cup final. That will be the moment. Ali, I've got to ask you, you are already embarking on career number 2 as we sit here. You're not just content with being one of the world's greatest footballers of all time that this nation has produced. You've decided to come and dominate broadcasting. I have been loving your work as a television pundit. We all will be working for you very soon. What has been the secret lesson that you've learned about making live television? What's the biggest one you've learned so far? I'm asking for a friend.
I think making your point clear and concise, because you only have 20 to 30 seconds to make a point, and it has to be good, or you might as well get off the pot and you might as well just walk off the stage. So learning how to really say what I need to say in that 20-30 second period, I find it very difficult. So
which is
give
hard.
me an advice. It's hard for me, obviously.
Hard
Look,
for her.
I'm just talking because I'm talking. I don't know.
America needs more, not less. We need more, not less. The other people need to contract their words. Ellie, you need to expand your wisdom. You really do. What was there a second point?
The sideline reporting for me is pretty tough.
For everyone, it's so hard.
I'm just like, what questions?
Everyone makes it look so easy. Who does
it
so hard?
I'm like, I don't even know what to ask. What do I ask? I'm worried about writing down my questions and then I'm missing the game. And I'm like, I need to know what I'm talking about at halftime. I don't even know. I'm focused on the questions. I mean, it's a disaster.
Even as athletes, because when you're in a stadium, you can't hear what they're asking you. They can't hear your reply, and you're trying to bounce this conversation.
You're yelling over the music
after this massive event, and the music's blasting. People are screaming. It is so wild. And then you have someone in your ear being like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, and then you hear,
get it in.
And then you hear, we got a bump to break. Finish. We got a bump to
break. And
my
mask is on.
It's the stress. No.
Can't even see it.
You make it look effortless. Question from Miranda. Will we ever see a Crashling commentating partnership? Because I've got to say, the notion of you just feeding buds and apples to guests, the two of you together.
I'm still waiting for our reality show.
Yeah.
So
if anybody wants to do that,
I'm like,
Kardashians are finishing, so why
Yeah.
not pick us up?
we're stuck in the house. There's no better time than now.
No.
Oh, mate, I've got to tell you, America, that is the quality that we deserve. The two of you together would like blow Ernie Johnson and Charles Barkley out of the water. More fan questions for you. At Awesome Summer 18 wants to know, given the current state of the world and the pandemic, how do you both feel about the US women's national team? No camp, no training, no game time right now. And how will that impact the team in terms of the Olympics next summer?
Well, I think that's why you see so many people going overseas right now to get minutes, just so everyone's prepped and ready. So when we go back into camp and we have these friendlies coming up, we'll be buzzing and we'll be ready. I do think it's going to take some time to get our feet wet. I do, because it has been a challenging time to get elite level training, and we're used to seeing each other every 3 weeks, and to not have that for several months. I think the best thing we can do right now is continue prepping our body and our mental state. But we can't replicate the environment with the national team. It's impossible. I mean, you're talking about the best of the best.
Is Black Co in touch? How does that work in lockdown communications in and between the national team?
Yeah, I think he's handling every situation differently, right? So Megan Rapinoe is going to be different than us two, who's going to be different to a Carly Lloyd, or, so he's trying to work through every individual player and put them in the best position to be in a competitive environment and be ready to come into camp.
But he also says, safety and health is most important.
Always.
So that's most important. And then if you can get your individual training, you feel good and you feel like you're succeeding and getting better outside of, your team environment, then go do that.
God, must be an incredible test for Blackco. He wants to enforce himself. He wants to define himself. He wants to make it his team, and now he has to grapple with this. But when I think about the national team, I've got to tell you, Ashlyn, millions of Americans drew delight and pleasure from your Insta stories in that locker room post-World Cup win. And I want you to know, when I feel down in the lockdown, we've all had ups and downs, everyone. And you two have led this conversation by talking about when I've had ups and downs, when I've had downs, your videos are one of the sources of joy that I will look at. Tracy Chapman's album or your videos, I will rewatch them, and they are guaranteed to make me feel better, even fleetingly. Be honest, do you ever rewatch them? Just I'm feeling a bit, I need a lift tonight, I'm going to go there.
Like a lot of people lately, because TikTok has been such a fun thing, that people are pretending to be me and redoing the videos. I don't have TikTok, but it is killing me on internet. These younger kids are so funny and creative.
I can't even keep up.
I can't keep up either, but they send me stuff, and I don't creep, but I check everything out. People send me and tag,
spend hours.
I'm there. I'm there for you guys, and I read and I watch, and you guys crack me up.
It's actually really funny.
The first edition of our show on NBC is just going to be me for 30 minutes doing that. She dirty. A serious question now. Awful pivot. From at Sneaker Sock 17, what are your thoughts on Hope Solo missing out on the Hall of Fame this week? Hope Solo, God love you.
I mean,
tough
no
one.
comment.
Yeah, that is a good answer in every regard. In which case, we'll pivot back to the other crap that people came to hear, which is, in fact, the question that we have most from every single human being, other than people asking if you would adopt them. The second most is, when are the two of you writing a book, and what would that book be like?
Oh, gosh. I would actually love, if I remember correctly, the Andre Agassi book was so incredible. I don't know how many people out there really read his book when he talks about the dark moments of athletes, because there are so many, and it is such a difficult lifestyle that people don't realize. I would love to one day dive into that, because I think for so long we've only talked about the beautiful moments in sports, and it's a stigma to not talk about the really, really tough times in sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love to get a collection of people's stories of not just overcoming injury, but like really severe mental health issues. Because what people don't really know is some of the greatest athletes to ever walk this planet suffer from serious mental health issues that they have never unpacked, that they do not share and talk about because of the stigma of it. And I'd love to blow that freaking thing right off and really dig down and make it a common conversation that people struggle, and it's a difficult lifestyle to live in. The pressure of living in the spotlight every single day and making the right decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And the second you don't, people stop caring about you and are ready to throw you in front of like the bus.
Or it could cost you your career.
Yeah, or it cost you your career. So I would love to eventually, tap into that and really have something meaningful where it could really help change and shape young athletes to start caring about their mental health at a really young age.
I mean, more than just young athletes, it's something that transcends sports. Thomas Bjorn, the golfer, wrote a beautiful book where he interviewed the elite in the golf world about their mental struggles and mental low points. Golf, obviously, being an individual game where these men and women play 4-day tournaments under incredible duress. They make it look effortless on the outside, and inside, his opening chapter talks about how he used to look at the mirror and just talk to himself about how just a lack of self-worth, how he was doomed to failure, just undermine himself in his darkest moments. And he wanted to collect all of those things. It's an incredibly powerful book, a powerful book in a way, even if you're not an elite golfer. I'm not. It's just genuinely, it's unbelievably transcendent to deal with.
Yeah. I mean, I can assure you that there is no one harder on myself than me. And that's across all industries, all sports, at the elite. I'm talking about the elite level. These people will pick apart everything because that is what the small details has what got them to the elite level. So
I've got to say,
true fact.
That is a book. So just to recap for all agents who are watching this show, and I think there's many of you, get on the reality TV show that we all need, genuinely. Get on it. Why is it not happening? Number 2, the book deal. I mean, if there's not an auction within a couple of days, I do not know what the story is, because that is a book that, I mean, genuinely, America needs, the world needs. I'm going to pivot into a couple of final questions as we move out there. All fan questions. We could genuinely do this for hours. We have had we have an overwhelming. You are just a source of joy, and talking to you, I mean, your willingness to just put it all out there, which is so rare in human contact. It's most certainly so rare in elite athlete human contact. That, I think, is the source of why so many people adore and revere you. We had, I mean, more questions than we can ever get to. Going to pick out a few. At the SASAK wants to know, what's the first thing you'll both do? Please God, this happens once there is a coronavirus vaccine. What do you miss most? What are you most looking forward to reclaiming in your life?
I think going out with our friends and seeing our family and not being afraid to give them a hug and just be in close quarters with everyone and go to a dinner with our friends and have wine and, just kind of talk about normal things and not necessarily, and also the fans back in the stadiums. I mean, we have to get back on the field first, but just to see the fans enjoy and be passionate about the beautiful game as much as we are. That is something I think I miss a lot too, because you're making an impact on their lives just by doing the thing that you love. And yeah, just seeing our friends and family, really. I'm sure everybody's in the same boat. Going to a dinner and not having to worry about your upper lip sweating because you have a mask on.
Oh, you have that too. Oh, that's the one thing you and I share. One of us is an elite football player. The other one, not so much. We both get the old mask sweat. At Woso Love, be honest, if the two of you swap positions, Ali played in goal Ashlyn played fullback. Who would do a better job and why? Be honest.
Crickets.
I would. No.
Are you serious?
It's a
ball
choice.
flying out her head, she would just not.
I made that choice a long time ago,
do.
and I think I made the right choice.
Yeah, she did.
There's your answer.
No, thank you.
There is your answer. And I look forward to Orlando Pride doing a positional swap promo night. I love that. At Angel Hannon, Freaky Friday happens. Who's the one celebrity? You know what? I'm going to ask. She asked another great question, which we're going to focus on. A follow-up question, because we all need relationship advice. What's the best gift you've ever given each other?
Honestly, I will. This is the truth, and this isn't just a
I'll be the
BS tagline. The greatest gift we ever started to give each other was our time. We stopped doing presents. We stopped doing gifts. And we started to do events together and spend time together, whether that's a picnic, a home-cooked meal with music and dancing in the kitchen. The greatest gift we've ever given each other is honestly our time, and like really our time, not feeling like rushed into things or picking our phone up, or I think that has like, we are very, very comfortable sitting with each other, and it's a practice that it's taken a long time to get to this point. Honestly, we spend a lot of time together, but the difference is quality time. There's time and there's quality time. So
that is say the greatest astonishing.
I would say the greatest gift has been pure time to connect and see each other, like really see each other.
And for me, probably a really good bottle of Pinot Noir.
Key to her heart.
Nobody wants relationship advice from me, but I'll only tag on to what you said, Ashlyn, is just never taking that for granted, that quality time that you've just defined so beautifully and more articulately than savoring it as you have it, and never, ever, ever taking it for granted. We're now going to descend to close to the true madness of NWSL fans, because we discovered over the past couple of months doing this that NWSL fans love nothing more than thinking about their players in bar fights. We're going to go there. You ready for this? At Bagel's Pride was a person who asked this now classic question: which 3 US women's national teammates would each of you pick? And you can come together and decide it as a consensus if you want, to back you up in a bar fight, and why. We're looking for the big 3.
Okay, so between the two of us, we pick 3.
Yeah.
I would say
Sydney
Leroux.
Sydney Leroux is dirty. She's pulling hair.
Yes.
She's getting she's a feisty one. You seen those tackles on the field? She'll slide tackle people in a bar.
Sydney Leroux probably started the fight, is the honest truth. Right. So Sydney Leroux is in it. Number 1, Sid Leroux.
Absolutely. Who's going to be a lawyer? Because we're going to need someone to bail us out.
I don't know. I feel
like we're going to need a Kristen Press, because she's going to be the smart logistical one that's going to tell us all of our options. Once we do get in trouble, she's going to be the one bailing us out. So we need her wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah, you're taking this questions and you levels
honestly,
of depth.
I might say Sonnet for fighting, or Alex for fighting. Both of them. Not because they're our Pride teammates, but because they're legit. They could throw down.
Totally.
Sonny's just throwing waffles like ninja stars, is what I imagine.
Yes. She would be like, "What do you guys need? What do you guys need? I got you."
Yeah. Sonny's a beautiful segue, because she's actually the answer to this question for me. We've been asking everyone, Mount Rushmore, it's going to be carved properly. No men, just the 4 most legendary US women's national team footballers on whose shoulders we all stand. Whose faces would you carve on it? Who would be up there for you? The 4. Oh.
Gosh, that's
like present or overall?
Always, all the way. You can go all the way back.
Raj, you know what I'm gonna say. If I'm gonna be stuck in the side of a mountain with people, they better be cool and fun and chill and have a good time.
The faces on that you're carving in there.
Yeah.
So is this? You're saying you're going to carve into the side of Mount Rushmore? It's going to be
4 choices.
It's going to be for you. Kriegs, and Kriegs.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I'm definitely going to go.
Different fun styles.
I'm going to go with the GOAT, Mia Hamm. I have to. My
Yeah.
UNC alum. She's just, put us all on her shoulders. I'm gonna definitely say Megan Rapinoe because she's my best friend and my homie.
I would say Lauren Holiday.
Wow, yeah. Big
Beat
one,
Cup.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Most underrated
She's
player
my favorite midfielder
ever who played the biggest role.
Yeah.
And
most
probably
impactful.
Let's do a newbie.
A
Rose
newbie? Rose. She's going to be good for a long time.
I know. She's insane.
I've always been a fan of Rose.
God, I've got to tell you, if Rose Lavelle was carved on the side of Mount Rushmore, I would make that pilgrimage on the regs. Last question for you both. You are just genuinely, this is what we needed to come together with you, be lifted, be filled with joy and wisdom and honesty. And there's a lot of people caught in the struggle right now for whom both you, Ali and Ashlyn, are an inspiration. And I'm going to finish by ceding the floor to you both. Give us some words of optimism from which you draw strength in challenging times. What's your wisdom?
Yeah, I can start. I think for myself, during really tough times when I guess some days I don't put my best foot forward because it's hard times, I think give yourself grace right now. I think give yourself grace and just remember that having this time to sit and be with yourself is one of the greatest lessons we'll probably ever have and we'll ever learn from who we are and most importantly, who we want to be moving forward. And we need all of these turn of events in the last year to be a lesson that nothing is granted and we are on borrowed time, that we must live our fullest life and, be who we always intended we want to be and live life for ourselves and not for others, and be empathetic for people who may not look like you. Because this is a moment in time where it is a teaching lesson to us all that we need to listen and we need to hear and we need to change. And my hope is people don't just sleep through this pandemic, but they dig in and they learn, they educate themselves, and we pave a way to create a better world to live in. And I just had this conversation with Sydney LaRue in the locker room because it's been so difficult, for her and raising her children. And we keep promising ourselves and we hold each other accountable. We promise ourselves we are paving the way for your children and one day mine to live in a better place. And we can't stop. So I hope that we reflect and we learn and we become better people because of this tough time.
I should have went first because I don't even want to.
You asked.
I don't even want to top that. All I can say to add to that, because that was beautifully said, is keep yourself on a schedule and don't be afraid to put yourself first. Don't say yes to everything. If you need time and space to sit by yourself and regroup and refresh, do that. But kind of try to put yourself on a schedule every day and just give yourself time to relax.
Ali Krieger, I would always put you first, is the honest truth. And if I got to say, you guys are just like preachers that we all needed to hear. That was genuinely beautiful. I love that advice. Digging in. And Ali Krieger and Ashlyn Harris, I raise my bud in joy and tribute to you both, to life, to your Orlando pride, mostly above all to your love, which genuinely so much that you have, it bubbles out and it fills all of us up in remarkable ways. So to life, to health, to joy, to love.
Cheers, you guys.
Cheers, Raj. Thank you so much for having us. Courage.
We'll be back next Wednesday on Instagram Live. Until then, all of you, courage. Thank you.
Stay safe.
I hope so.
Bye.
Bye.